news. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt here in the First Alert Weather Center, tracking quite a bit of rainfall out there. And by the way, nice cookie cake here in the Weather Center from the students at Payne Elementary School. We'll show you some visit video coming up. Had a fun time there today. Some great singers. They did a wonderful job, fantastic job with my weather songs. And we'll share some video coming up and talk a little bit more. We got a lot here coming up on Extra. Let's get the radar right now, though. One system that we're watching here, as you can see across the region, meteorologist Lauren Linehan on the radar controls. Let me switch AccuTrack systems here. We'll go. There's a low spinning back into Mississippi. This thing, you look at it from space, it looks like a tropical storm. And to me, this really has that subtropical storm kind of look to it. It has some tropical characteristics. It's not necessarily a warm core low, but that spin, that vortex is quite present, quite evident. And in fact, you can see there's almost like a feeder band. You see this where we have these storms that are popping up, and with all this spin in the atmosphere, there's a little bit of rotation there. There's some wind shear. Notice there was a tornado watch that was in place across parts of Georgia, and we've been watching for that low-end risk of a brief tornado for us. Right now things are behaving, but I have seen some photos of some real low cloud bases out there. If you notice some very low, ominous-looking clouds, we're seeing it's kind of a tropical-like environment out there. We're seeing a lot of scud, a lot of debris clouds. Lauren's going to take us in closer. We'll start to the north here, and we'll just kind of work our way down the line. This is all moving southeast to northwest, and we've had quite a bit of rain already. Places like Hackleburg stretching back across Walker County, then into Jefferson County, and there could be some trouble spots that develop in here with respect to heavy rain, flooding. We'll need to watch out for that. Adamsville, Dora areas, right now rain really coming down. That's about to cross around the Brookside area, Brooksville, I should say. You can see Sayre, Dora, Adamsville. Lightning is the main concern at this point. You may notice some very small pea-sized hail. I've seen a couple of photos of that. That's actually happened out there today with some of these storms. Arkadelphia back to Corner. You can see some indications there, small hail. This is moving north. Certainly not the time. I know it's been kind of a warm day, but Smith Lake, if you're around the Arley, Curry areas, you need to be getting to indoors. You know, don't want to be on the water. We're thinking about heading out on the water this evening with what's on the way with these storms and that threat for cloud-to-ground lightning. You can see the heaviest of the rain at this point just off to the west of Gardendale, and that's wrapping into the north. But we'll keep a watch on this here around Mulga as this all develops back to the north direction. So that's what's happening there. Lauren's looking at some of the rotation products, and we don't have anything that just really jumps out off the screen at the moment. Looking at further south, Pell City, back to Talladega County, Childersburg, Sylacauga. The lightning's been popping here. This all tracking to the north. Here's Clay County, Millerville, Lineville area. A first alert for some more heavy rain. This is moving in the direction. If you're Talladega, this is Highway 77 here around the Super Speedway, around Lincoln. This is all lifting in towards the Honda plant, moving out off to the north right there. So a first alert for some of that rain moving north. To the south, you can see there's some more showers lining up, but all this will eventually kind of wrap northward and lessen in intensity once we lose the heating of the day. So Anniston, Gadsden, I still think we could see some rain, but it looks like the intensity of these little cells that are developing, they should back off. We're going to see more of this tomorrow, more rain as the center, the actual center of the storm system spins across the state. I know a lot of the data has been suggesting we'll get this rain out of here rather quickly tomorrow afternoon, but it may take a little bit of time. I have bumped the rain chance up to 60% for our Friday, just in case we have some wet weather that's still around into the afternoon, into the evening. That chance of rain is going to be there. So that's what we're tracking at the moment. We got the wet weather, those scattered storms impacting the area. We're going to talk about the 7-day forecast, more on what to expect for our weekend. That is coming up. Also coming up here on Weather Extra, we're going to show you about the flooding in South Florida. Wait until you see some of this video. I mean, it's just incredible. From the airport to the downtown area, over 2 feet of rain in some of those areas in a short amount of time. You can imagine. And, you know, a brief warm-up on the way for this weekend, but when will we have more 40-degree temperatures at night? We'll show you that. A lot to get into as we continue right here on Weather Extra.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
Some people may think you're overreacting. Some may ask, is there a storm coming? That's okay, because knowing the first alert has helped you beat the rush. Being prepared puts you in control and changes the what if to you're okay. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
If you have plans for this weekend, we have a first alert for a wintry mix.
When you need to know next week, tomorrow, or even right now, the WBRC First Alert Weather Team is always on your side, whenever and wherever you need us. This is why we First Alert.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm your First Alert meteorologist, Tania Michelle, and we start this segment with weather around the world. So we're going to talk about Wisconsin first. Their governor declared a state of an emergency Wednesday, which is yesterday, due to elevated wildfire conditions across the state. This comes after the National Weather Service issued a red flag warning for a large portion of the state. The Jack Pine fire began Wednesday afternoon in Nekada in Juneau County. That's about 130 miles northwest of Milwaukee. Authorities at the Department of Natural Resources say that fire is now contained, which is good news, but it has reportedly burned around 100 acres and several structures. Earlier on Wednesday, Governor Tony Evers called the danger of a wildfire a top priority, saying the executive order will provide additional resources to help keep fires small and thus minimize damage. According to the National Weather Service, the wildfire conditions are due to warm, dry, and windy conditions across the southern part of the state. And right now, it is unclear what caused the fires, but authorities are asking residents to comply with voluntary evacuation notices. So far, no injuries have been reported. More good news there. And snow is beginning to melt in areas across the country, and volunteers in North Dakota are working long hours to fill sandbags ahead of flooding in the Fargo. As Bryant Barrett reports, they filled tens of thousands of bags, but have many more to go.
With the rapidly melting snowpack and rivers beginning to overflow, students and volunteers are taking time out of their day to help Cass County with the flood fight. As of Wednesday afternoon, there has already been approximately 60,000 sandbags filled, but they are in need of more help to attain their goal.
We're looking to fill 200,000 along with us, the city of Fargo and West Fargo. So we're working all together. Everyone's putting in extra time here to make some sandbags.
The sandbags will be distributed to Cass County and the city of Fargo for different needs.
So the city of Fargo is keeping their sandbags here in storage until we kind of find out what's happening along the Red River as far as in-town needs. But the county sandbags, we'll be dispersing them out to areas somewhere probably along like the Cheyenne River corridor from Kindred up to Horace and from West Fargo up to Harwood, and then other rural spots that have overland flooding that affects their property.
The National Weather Service predicts a chance of precipitation later this week, but they are not expecting a significant impact on the flooding potential.
We're anticipating precipitation, maybe even a clap or two of thunder, but really the signal isn't there for widespread significant precipitation that would really increase the level of impacts from from that rain running off into the river system or leading to flash flooding or overland flooding.
And now we travel out the country in Japan, where fine dust particles churned up by strong winds from deserts on China's mainland affected Tokyo today, reducing visibility according to the Asahi Shimbun. Seasonal yellow sand is expected to blow across wide areas from northern to western Japan on April 12th and 13th. That's today and yesterday, creating a possible hazard for transportation systems. The Japan Meteorological Agency warned in some areas visibility could be reduced to under 10 kilometers, the agency said. And our last story of weather around the world takes us to Western Australia, where tropical cyclone Ilsa made landfall just hours ago along the western coast of Australia, between De Grey and Pardew Roadhouse as a Category 5 storm. The Bureau of Meteorology expects Cyclone Ilsa to bring winds gusting excess of 285 kilometers per hour, which is around 177 miles per hour here at home, and more heavy rainfall. Hurricane Ilsa has been downgraded to a Cat 3, but can still cause significant damage. It is expected to weaken overnight Saturday.
Thanks for that, Tania. And of course, here at home, we have been no stranger to wet weather here in central Alabama thus far this year. We check in now with meteorologist Matt Daniel for an update on any drought conditions nearby.
Well, it's Thursday. That means we have a new update on the drought monitor, and I also want to give you some updates on the rain, not only here but across the country. We've had some crazy things happen with the weather over the past 24 hours. Here's the view of the estimated rainfall over the past 7 days. Notice it's been pretty wet across Seattle, and of course very wet across the southeast over the past 7 days. Very heavy rainfall in parts of Louisiana, stretching into Mississippi. We've had a lot of rain in the northern half of the state of Alabama, and also some very heavy rainfall in far southeast Florida and the Florida Peninsula. So there we go, zooming in. Reason why I'm talking about this is yesterday there was just a crazy setup where we had storms just sort of form and not move. And so we had a lot of heavy rainfall in around the Fort Lauderdale area in parts of Florida. And look at these estimated rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. Over 1 foot to 2 feet of rain as storms just kind of formed and stayed there for hours. So pretty impressive, and we actually saw some pretty record-breaking rainfall totals in the Fort Lauderdale. This is preliminary, but almost 26 inches of rain fell in Fort Lauderdale in 24 hours. Can you imagine over 2 feet of rain in that short period of time? It ended up becoming one of the all-time wettest. The wettest was April 25th of 1979 of over 14.5 inches of rainfall. And just to give you a perspective, this is 7 times more rain than in the average month of April. So that is a lot of rainfall. In fact, they recorded over 22 inches of rain in just 7 hours, which is just third of its annual rainfall. So that is crazy, and they had extensive flooding. The airport was closed, so that was a big story going into yesterday. Let's go ahead and talk about the rainfall across the central Alabama over the past 5 days, and you can see we had a lot of rain across the northern half over the past 5 to 7 days. 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. 3.5 inches of rainfall was estimated in Jasper, almost 3 inches plus in Tuscaloosa, almost 3 inches in Birmingham, and lower totals south of 2059. Notice as you go towards Clanton, about 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, and same in Centerville. So once again, we've got rain today that's going to add up on these totals, and this is not showing up for today's rainfall, so we'll have more totals showing up tomorrow, but almost 3.5 inches of rainfall before today in Birmingham, same in Tuscaloosa, and just 2.5 inches of rainfall in parts of Anniston. And normally for April, we'll average about 4.5 to 5 inches of rainfall for the month of April. Drought conditions, latest drought monitor, still really dry across the central United States. California has seen major improvement, and of course the drought starting to intensify in parts of Florida besides Fort Lauderdale and the Miami area where they have seen so much rainfall. So zooming into our area, notice just abnormally dry conditions south of Montgomery, but we are in good shape across the area. How much rain could we see over the next 7 days?
And as Matt was saying, down in South Florida, roads were left impassable. People were trapped in their homes and travelers stranded after a historic rain event that paralyzed parts of Florida for hours. Crews are still working to clear roads and assess the damage, but more rain is unfortunately on the way this evening. Gloria Pazmino has more.
All right, cool. Let's do this in 3, 2.
And sorry about that, we're having some technical difficulties. But regarding that rain that we have been seeing in Florida, that historic flooding took place in South Florida on Wednesday. And what we've been seeing with that rain is just historic, as Matt Daniel was saying. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on our friends down in South Florida. Meanwhile, here in central Alabama, we are tracking those storms that are moving across our area. The severe threat is very low, not zero, but we'll be keeping an eye on things. We'll check back in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for an update coming up in the Super 7-day forecast, and I'll take you beyond the 7-day. We'll be right back.
Does your bathtub look like this? Are you constantly cleaning your shower, but the stains and discoloration just won't go away? Or maybe you're just hoping to freshen up your bathroom with something new and modern. If this is you, you may be planning on attending one of the local home shows. Well, stay tuned. Today I'm joined by Kirsten with a special announcement that's going to make the whole project easier and more affordable. Kirsten.
So Joe, we know that people are busier than ever right now. The last thing they want to do is spend hours of time on the weekend fighting traffic and all the long lines at the home shows. Well, to save time, folks should give us a call right now and get this limited time offer. We're taking 20% off all shower and bath projects, and we're offering some amazing financing. It's 12 months of no payments and no interest. That means you don't need to pay a penny on your project until an entire year after your installation is complete.
So you're saying if I start my project now, I don't have to put any money down, I get 20% off the entire project, and you're offering no payments, no interest financing for a full year. That's pretty incredible.
It really is. We understand that most people have a long list of renovations that they want to do around the house, so we're making it easier than ever to knock out that shower project right now.
That's fantastic. Well, Kirsten, how else are you making this whole project easy?
So Joe, people's biggest fear when doing a project like this is picking out something they're not going to be happy with. Well, we eliminate that fear by bringing the home show to you. When you give us a call, we'll send one of our shower and bath experts out for a free in-home design consultation. They'll bring an iPad and a sample kit to let you design the shower or bath of your dreams. Before the appointment is over, you'll see what the new shower will look like, eliminating all of the guesswork out of the project.
Kirsten, thanks. Folks, call the number on your screen right now to speak with a West Shore Home representative and to receive this limited time offer. Call in now to get 20% off your shower or bath project. Plus, they're doing 12 months of no payments and no interest financing. That means you don't need to make your first payment until 12 months after your installation is complete. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Want to go over to our AccuTrack system, show you this rain that's moving north across the area, and we're dealing with some lightning out there. We've been watching for kind of a low-end risk of a tornado with some of the wind shear in the atmosphere, but so far around here the weather's behaving. I have seen some photos, some ominous-looking clouds out there, but in tropical environments, or at least very moist environments like this, you can sometimes see low clouds, what we call debris clouds or scud clouds. Sometimes I call those tornado lookalikes. We see those often, especially in the summertime. And this is certainly an atypical kind of setup out there today. It's almost like what you would see in summer. We've had sun out one minute, rainbows and scattered thunderstorms, but all this wrapping north. Right now we're at that time of day. We're about to kind of cross the threshold here. I think over the next few hours, the storms that we have, at least they will start to lessen up. I've seen a lot of those out there, some lightning producers, and then tonight there's still going to be some showers out there. Notice a little bit of rain around Anniston, perhaps here in Blount County. What's still on radar is going to wrap to the north there, and then we'll see some more showers still around, some clouds. And the center of this storm system, that low pressure center, it's still going to spin across our area tomorrow. So what happens starting in the morning? Some showers, and it wouldn't surprise me because this is somewhat of a kind of a hybrid type system where you got some colder air aloft. Even in showers sometimes with a setup like this, I've seen some small hail. So it's possible that there still could be some reports of small hail out there where we have some of the heavier rain tomorrow morning with that cold air profile aloft. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, those showers will be around. A lot of clouds, 50-degree temperatures, but kind of a rainy, dreary, drizzly start to the day. Unfortunately, I can't promise this is going to be out of here. I know we're hopeful that we'll catch some breaks in the afternoon, but with a slow-moving system like this, we really won't have a big push that's going to move this out of here rather quickly. So it's going to spin away right through lunchtime into the afternoon, and there still could be some rain around. Notice this is 3 o'clock tomorrow. Data still picking up on some showers out there. So if there's one trend, we have slowed this down a little bit with respect to Friday. I still think this gets out of here with a break tomorrow night. Also on Saturday, we'll enjoy a break there to start the day. But our First Alert 7-day forecast right now, you look at this, we have bumped the rain chance up to 60% for our Friday. Showers, can't rule out a thunderstorm, but I'm not expecting storms like what we saw today. This is more of kind of a rainy, cloudy, drizzly kind of setup. And then Saturday, we start out, most of the day will be dry. We'll have some showers coming back Saturday night and into the morning on Sunday. This will be a fast-moving system. It's a cold front. It's going to move through. Notice how it drops the temperatures. We go from 81, that warm start to the weekend, back to lows in the 40s, 68 for a high on Monday. So it is back to below average as far as those temperatures. And some nice tranquil weather if you're heading down to the Gulf Coast next week. Looks like a nice stretch of weather as well there to start off next week. And I want to show some video here. I had a great time today. I mentioned earlier that I was at Payne Elementary School, and check it out. We got the third graders here. Had a great time. They had a big wave for you. Check it out. But lots of smiles and fun times there today out at Payne. That's the Payne Elementary Huskies, all third graders, and they did a great job singing weather songs today, talking weather safety. We actually had a couple of the weather graphics, and we had some opportunities to practice. It was, I guess you could call it Mickey's Weather Kids on the road. So we had some fun there presenting the weather. And a big shout out to Tyler Young, too, our First Alert weather watcher in Trussville. I saw Tyler today and his daughter Sadie, and it was just so wonderful seeing. I want to thank Miss Daniel for helping set up the visit, and a lot of fun. And teachers, by the way, if you want to set up a weather visit with us, just go to Weather in the Classroom at WBRC.com, and you can sign up, and we will stop by for a visit as we bring in meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Lauren, I know you had a visit here recently. Yesterday you were over in Talladega. It's been great to get out on the road here, and I know we've had a lot of teachers reaching out, and we always enjoy any opportunity where we can kind of break away from tracking weather to go speak to the kids.
Yeah, we love to get out in the community and meet you all. And as we look ahead to the next several days, beyond the 7-day, if you're going to be out and about, we do have an above average temperature forecast. You'll notice a good portion of the south going to be seeing likely above average temperatures. Now, does that mean that's going to be the case every day? No. But you can see as we get into next week, possibly 80s back in the forecast with another cool down the following week in April. But generally looking like a warming trend here over the next couple of weeks. And then as we look at those low temperatures, because of course everyone's wondering if there's going to be a frost or freeze threat, a rogue one of those, as we continue into the year. Of course, they're getting less and less as we get closer to the summer months, but maybe not next week, but the week after that, potentially seeing some cooler air moving its way back in. So let's look at that rainfall forecast for Alabama, at least below average rainfall, believe it or not. It's not often we see this, but that's going to be the potential here over the next 6 to 10 days. Once we get past this weekend, of course, we've got a chance of rain for tomorrow and then Saturday night into Sunday morning. But here we are next Thursday, April 20th. What you'll notice is a ridge of high pressure that is building in over the southeast. Sometimes that high pressure ridge is almost like putting a lid on the atmosphere. It prevents any storm systems from coming in, and it prevents any storms from bubbling up. So you get that little lid on the atmosphere, and that's going to prevent any development in the way of rain or storms. And here we are going into next Friday, the 21st, still showing that ridge, and you can see it here in the flow in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. It almost just looks like a ridge that you would see out in nature, but it's sitting over a good portion of the southeast into the Ohio River Valley and the mid-Atlantic. Eventually, though, we begin to see some disturbances trying to make their their way farther into Alabama. Here we are next weekend, April 22nd, that Saturday, showing a disturbance trying to come our way, but it looks like it may end up staying off to the north and west of us. We'll certainly keep an eye on it, but showing the possibility maybe next Sunday night into Monday, the possibility of more storms coming in as that ridge begins to break down a little bit. But then after that one system, it looks like the following week, here we are April 26th on Wednesday, keeping us generally quiet. So, hey, we'll take it. We've had a really wet year so far. I gotta say though, I don't know about y'all, I've loved how much rain we've gotten because it's so lush and green outside. It almost looks like a little rainforest here in central Alabama. Ain't mad at it. But coming up next, we will look more at the flooding that has been ongoing in South Florida. We'll be right back.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert weather.
Historic flooding in South Florida Wednesday.
What we're seeing here is a 1,000-year incident. No city could have planned for this.
The city of Fort Lauderdale paralyzed.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, you can see how shooken up I am, you know. I didn't plan on waking up like this.
I've been working in Fort Lauderdale for over 23 years and I've never seen anything like this.
Residents taking in the damage after spending the night stranded in their homes.
Yeah, we lost everything.
More than 25 inches of rain fell in just 24 hours, according to preliminary reports from the National Weather Service, marking the rainiest day in Fort Lauderdale history.
All right, I'm gonna go back and get your mommy and daddy, all right, bud?
First responders out in force, wading through waist-high water to help trapped residents and motorists.
I've been stuck here now for about 40 minutes. So I've been watching the cars thinking I could make it, but I've had the car stall in water before, and so I'm just like, I'll just hang out.
At Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, a ground stop Wednesday, then closure. Stranded travelers trying to navigate as runways turned into lakes.
Trying to get back home, and they're telling us that the airport is closed, and so at this point we don't know what to do.
The airport will remain closed through Thursday. Officials plan to reopen it at 5 a.m. Friday. The National Weather Service is calling the floods a 1-in-1,000-year event or greater, and more rain is expected later today. I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Well, we're still going to be tracking showers and storms moving through central Alabama tonight. I will say that severe threat is waning, though, so that's good news. But you can join us back here tonight on First at 9. Check in with meteorologist Wes Wyatt for an update on that 7-day forecast. And join us back here on Weather Extra tomorrow night at 6:30. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Thursday evening.